I'm very pleased to be here with Barry Goddard on My Magical Thing, shamanic practitioner, astrologer of quite some depth of knowledge and note, having perused your blog earlier on today, Barry, writer and teacher. It's lovely to have you here. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So Barry, please may we see your magical thing?
Yes, well, it comes in two halves because it's a pipe. So here's the stem of the pipe, and here's the bowl of the pipe. So yeah, if you're not using it, you keep it in two halves. If you do put it together, then you're in ceremonial time. So for the sake of convenience, I'll put it together now. And we'll say we're in ceremonial time, okay? This is a ceremony. Yes, so you can see it all in one go. So you want me to talk about it?
Yes, please. Just tell us the story. How come this magical thing comes into your care?
Well, I used to have a friend come to stay with me when I used to live in Glastonbury many years ago, and she used to run pipe ceremonies, and in a Navajo sort of way, because her teacher was a Chippewa Cree guy. So it's the two of them used to come over. So that's how I started, really. I'd done pipe ceremonies before. And then someone gave me a pipe. They gave me this pipe. Now, what some people say is that you're supposed to wait for a medicine man to show up on your door and give you a pipe. Otherwise, you're not entitled to use one. Well, that's not really going to happen. And I've got a friend who used to run a gift shop in London, and he ordered one from America, and he turned up with this pipe. So that's how I got this pipe. I've actually got two pipes now. I'll continue about it in a minute, but I'll just say what a pipe's for. It's about prayer, but prayer in the sense of a conversation with the natural world. You're not imploring God or anything like that. Now, here's a statistic, if you believe statistics. It came out only a couple of weeks ago. 51% of people in Britain between the ages of 18 and 34 pray, and something like 25% of those over 55 pray. So I thought that's really interesting. It's like everyone goes, oh, we're going to the dogs, we're getting so materialistic and all the rest of it. And like, well, people have always been saying that. But actually, it seems like we're going in the opposite direction. I mean, you know, who they pray to, you know, whether they're praying for the death of all heathens, I don't know. But the point is there's some kind of connection with something other going on in a lot of young people. It's about the same size as the Brexit vote, wasn't it? 51%. Let's not go there. So yeah, it's about the purpose of a pipe is to give a context in which you can talk about all the stuff that's going on and all the stuff that needs to go on. And it's done with other people there. And so it'll be a community thing. And you don't do it because it's Sunday. Yeah, you do it because you need one. There's a purpose. Indigenous people don't do their ceremonies because it's Sunday. They do a sweat lodge or a pipe ceremony or whatever because there's a particular need. Someone needs healing or something like that, usually. So they'll do it in a community way, and everyone has their chance just to talk. The pipe gets put together, and it gets passed round person to person. It doesn't get filled at this point. You fill it and smoke it later, and you each get a chance just to talk. And some people might go on and on. They might go on for 3/4 of an hour. They might crack a lot of jokes. You might have kids running in and out the room. They don't have this separation between, you know, spiritual and mundane that we do. It's all one thing, which I kind of agree with. That's how I like to live. I don't like being spiritual or too spiritual. And it doesn't have to be for profound things either. It can be just about stuff that you need. So someone might need to get their car fixed because they need it for work and they haven't got the money to get it fixed. Yeah, but they need that help. And so they'll talk about that. Yeah, you know, great spirit, I really need my car fixed. I mean, when I say great spirit, I mean the whole universe. I mean, you know, the universe is something alive. It's like spirit and matter aren't something separate in the way that we think of it. You know, we've inherited that split. In the Middle Ages, we had the spirit and the body. Now we've got mind and the body. It's the same split continuing. So, yeah, it goes round. And what you do, I mean, what you do when you're praying is you could make up a list afterwards. You could have some sort of bucket list that you want the Great Spirit to give you. And well, I don't think it really works that way. If you just start talking about your life in a genuine sort of way, and you're free to do that, and you're not being judged or anything. It's like the stuff that's close to you comes out, the stuff that you really need, because it's stuff about you that you really need, that is really aligned, because that's when magic works, is when what you need from your heart is put out there, because it always aligns with the universe. When it's just something you want and you're exercising your will, well, it's not the same thing. And you may not have even known what you really want, yeah, or what you really need. And it may be for you, or it may be on behalf of someone else. I mean, you know, when it's on behalf of someone else, you've got to be careful. You want to do it in a general sort of way, because it's not our business. I mean, you know, they may not want to get well from whatever they've got. They might be quite happy to be on their way out. So you just kind of wish them well. And sometimes, like you can have a prayer ceremony. Sometimes you'll have them in a sweat, and the person who needs healing might not be in it because they might be too ill to be in the sweat. Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. But so there's this community thing around healing with the pipe and for the benefit of others, and it has that much more power when everyone is praying for that person. So there's a community aspect that we're not really used to. And stuff happens. Stuff happens. I did a pipe ceremony, a short one, just on my own, because I do them sometimes when there's stuff, you know how stuff builds up. Yeah, there's all this stuff going on in your life. There's always stress. There's always this needs sorting, that needs sorting, and we soldier on and we keep plowing on and we forget actually there's help out there. So you just, you just talk, and you begin by giving thanks. That's how any Indigenous traditional ceremony begins. You begin by giving thanks, because we always forget the things that are working. Yeah? We forget how good it is. Actually, we've got enough to eat, and we've got a roof over our heads, and we've got our health. We've got all these things that are actually coming our way. The universe is benign. The universe helps us. The universe takes care of us. It's not against us. And so we forget this. And we think people are out to get us, you know, or the government's out to get us. Actually, we're being taken care of. We've got all these things. So we begin by that. We just talk around the things that we've got that are working, and we remember to appreciate them. And then we ask about the things that aren't working, yeah, or that could be working better, where we actually need some help. And I was doing that last Tuesday, and I asked for a bit of clarity about something, a particular area. And afterwards, I get down to my computer, and there's a message on Facebook for someone giving me that clarity. It's like, this stuff can happen just like straight away. At least it gave me a bit of clarity, so you know that it's in process of being answered. And if a prayer is done in a heartfelt way, how can it not be answered? Yeah, you're putting that energy, which is genuine, out there, and it's connected to what's real. It's connected to the whole universe. How could there not be a response? I mean, you never know how it's going to be replied to, or responded to, or given to you, or when. We can never second guess those things. We might have our ideas, and one of the good things when you're doing this prayer, when you're holding your pipe. Now, I'll just move sideways, and I'll come back. While I remember, is that the pipe, the bowl and the stem are masculine and feminine. So the masculine is this one, because it's got the thing sticking out of it. And this is the feminine, for obvious reasons, the bowl. So they come together. And when they come together, it's the two great principles of masculine and feminine coming together. The two great principles in the universe are coming into balance, because that's what you're doing when you pray, when you have a conversation with the natural world, in other words, is you're bringing yourself into balance, and you're bringing your community into balance, and you're bringing the universe into balance. That's what our lives are about. They're about coming into balance. I've emphasized this community aspect of it because for us, the self tends to be more autonomous. Whereas for traditional people, it's more relational. Who you are is also the community you're part of and how they see you. You're not just this atomized being that decides who and what it is. No, you're also your parents and your grandparents and your ancestors. You're all these things. So it's coming to balance the whole universe. It's not just you and your prayer. It's about the whole universe coming more into balance. And normally someone won't be, I mean, the real qualification for like leading a ceremony like this, holding a ceremony like this is that you've come into balance yourself. You're not just the masculine or just the feminine or predominantly that, which is what we tend to be in our 20s or 30s, whatever. That's just normal. As you get older, I mean, Jung talks about this, that other great principle comes into your life, you know, and it's often when you have a midlife crisis and everything starts to go to shit, yeah, because there's a radical arrangement on a sort of archetypal tectonic level going on, and it's when you've been through that sort of process that you've got that deeper kind of balance in you, and then that is the real qualification for running these sorts of ceremonies. I mean, technically, it's really easy. You could learn how to run a pipe ceremony in 10 minutes if you've got half a brain, yeah. But you can't learn it on a course. You have to learn it at the coalface of your own life, and being willing to stay at that coalface at least some of the time, yeah, for many years. And that gives you your own connection to spirit, your own connection to the universe, and therefore you have that connection to the pipe, because the pipe is the great spirit, it is the universe.
Barry, that's a fantastic summary of the pipe. Could we have another little look at this thing for the benefit of everyone watching? It's just like hold this up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And we'll just just sort of take it along the screen so we can have a look. Yes, this is very good. Barry Goddard, that's amazing. Would this be tobacco, by the way? Smoked in the pipe?
I generally put tobacco in. So what happens when everyone's done their prayer? Whoever's holding the ceremony puts some tobacco in, and then you pass it round person to person. You hold the bowl with your left hand, the stem with your right hand, and you take a smoke. You don't generally inhale it, but what happens then is that all the prayers are carried up and out into the universe by the smoke. So that's the idea, and you keep passing it round until all the tobacco is used up.
Barry Goddard, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to show us your excellent magical thing. It's really appreciated.
I didn't even tell you how I came to have it, did I? I got carried away with other stuff, but there you go.
Another time, my friend, another time. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated, Barry. Thank you.
Okay, good. Pleasure.